I was ready to take this kid in and record the whole album with it. And he looked me in the eye. He goes, "No way." He goes, "I want you to pull out that wooden drum set that you got stuck in your garage." He goes, "I want you to pull them out and we're going to lay this album down with natural drums, natural everything, Gus. I want you off the floor. Don't you think it would sound better with the V kit?" He goes, "No." He goes, I'm going to be steadfast about this." I said, "Okay." I said, "Then I'll do my part." I said, "I'll go and I'll rehead the whole kit, get the whole thing ready. I'll shine the at him. I'll bring him in. I'll set them all up and then we'll go." And he goes, "See, it's going to be great." I said, "Okay."
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy at ghostcultmag.com. I am back again with another interview, and I am super stoked to be joined by Gus from Sacrifice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great tonight, Keith. Absolutely. Well, finally starting to warm up here in the Great White North. So last one I did, man, we were super frozen, and there's not what you can do when you're minus 20, eh?
Hey, I lived in New England for a long time, and I went through many winters when we actually had a winter in New York City, where I'm from originally.
Yeah.
I live in California now. I was like, where can I live where it's like all the things I love about the Northeast, but not freezing cold? California, Northern California. So I got lucky. But
Beautiful.
big fan of Toronto, many time visitor to Canada, specifically for metal. I was a frequent visitor to an occasional visitor to Toronto and Quebec for metal festivals and metal shows. I attended the Trois-Rivières Metal Fest many times. Please forgive me, any French fans out there, for my horrible French. But longtime fan. Sacrifice is a band I have literally followed since I'm a kid, and obviously you were in it almost a kid. It's so gratifying to me for you guys to put out such a banger record in 2025. It really shows your heart and your dedication to your craft as a band. Here's just a funny aside. When I first broke into journalism, one of my first contacts ever was Sean Palmerson, another great Canadian, and he and I would talk about that, like, dude, all the Canadian bands. I was like, I know this is like very cliche to talk to your like one Canadian contact about Canadian things, but I was like, dude,
Well, yeah,
Rush.
we've known Sean for a long
Yeah,
time. So
Sean is the
if there's anybody knows us intimately, it's him.
Yeah, Sean is the absolute best person, and I'm so grateful. I think I've even bought some merch off of him that he was trying to unload at one point. I might have like a little button collection from him, but yeah, we shared like a mutual love. He's like, "Oh, dude, I can't believe you even know the band." I'm like, "You can't believe I know Sacrifice, dude." I have a Sacrifice shirt that I wear in interviews sometimes. So at least it wasn't like going to completely nerd out and wear it today like a dork. But Volume 6 is just absolutely killer, and I'm just so thrilled to have it and to hear it and to get to talk to you about it today.
That's fantastic. Yeah. It's been just like it's been advertised, 16 years in the making, and to be able to go in and lay it down, like now it's Labor Day weekend 23. So I'm already a year and a half plus into its creation. So what can I tell you? I've had the luxury of listening to it right up until you guys all got it probably about 2 weeks ago, and the reaction's been fantastic. Yeah, we've all been stoked about it. Lots of plans, lots of stuff coming at us. So I can't complain at all. It's been really gratifying, Keith, to say the least.
Yeah, fantastic. And I can't imagine sitting on it and after having like this big break and writing this record and putting it down and being satisfied with it, and all the great promotion and work everyone has done to support and celebrate the album. But it has to also be like, I think fans don't understand that records are sometimes done, especially in this last 5 years of the world. Like, there were definitely records done like pre 2020 that didn't come out till like
Yeah,
2022.
and they're just fucking coming out now. So
Yeah, they're just coming out now.
yeah. Or
Or
they're just
there's
coming to the
yeah,
surface. Our bands are finally laying down
yeah,
what they probably held on to for the
right.
last 4 or 5 years. We're
Or
no different.
we're getting like the follow-up now, because like they had just put something out. So we're getting the
Yeah.
music video now for the record 2-3 years ago. It's all good. And there's also a lot of people like, and I'm sure, everybody in the band's got families and work and things, regular life too. But, I always said, like, anybody who couldn't, there were people who were introverts who thrived during a time locked in, and there were times when people were like, I can't work creatively until I know this thing is over, this global
Yeah.
breakdown is through. So like, I appreciate that y'all came back together and worked and wrote, and made this thing for us to appreciate today. It's not a little thing. It's a big deal.
Yeah, before even the pandemic, it was only going to be an EP. We only had probably 4 or 5 songs, and pandemic came, shut us down for almost a year and a half. Didn't play at all, and we crawled out of it a bit, and we were able to move around a little bit more because it's just strange when the whole world just locks down, yeah, and you don't really know what's going on. It feels fucking confusing from eternally for me anyways. Went through the whole thing. Yeah, for him and I mean, that was probably the most distant I ever felt that this album was ever going to get done. To finally actually start to talk about it again in 21, 22 again, and then start playing again in 22, 23. 23 was busy for us because we wanted to play, but we still wanted to concentrate on doing the record and getting that. That was the sole focus in 23. We said 24 comes around, then we'll go back out and we'll play some shows, and we'll see who wants us. And Maryland were gracious enough to give us another slot, give us a slot in fucking Baltimore. And then he said, well, you guys want to go to California and play? I was like, man, that's almost fucking stupid to not to go and play in Oakland. I mean, I was like, fuck it. You got to go to the heart of thrash. And for me, that was my sole purpose and intention to play that show. And to be honest, Keith, that's probably one of the better live shows we had played, was the Oakland show, and how I felt about it. And the playbacks on it, I heard no flaws in our game that night. The only problem being is we already had V6 up here, right? And we couldn't play it. So Rob was like, okay, this is the last time we're playing this set. So next time we get to jam again, man, it's going to be new stuff. And I said, man, I'm fucking looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to finally building this set and unleashing it on everybody. So now we're getting ready for Vancouver in May, and I'm super stoked. I can't tell you how much I love this record. It's very poignant for me, very poignant for him. How much we as a band love it. To a man in this band, even Sean, everybody that's heard it, man, has been from the get go. Keith, fucking, we're just, they couldn't believe it. Like, fuck, man, you guys are like better than ever, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's always felt good, man. It's between me and him, and the fact that we can fucking still play at the top of our games, it's been nice, to say the least.
Awesome. And just shout out to the Maryland Death Fest guys. And,
Oh
I'm so
yeah,
glad they got to come back after a little hiatus, and it seems like they're back for good now. And,
yeah.
of course, because my luck is nothing but dumb, I was out of town the weekend of Oakland Death Fest, California
Oh,
Death
no
Fest. So I
way,
missed
no
you guys.
way.
It was like, finally, they're literally a train ride away. I live in downtown San Francisco. I was like, I could just literally smell it. But I had Spies there, and they were stoked, and a lot of people represented, and it was a great
So my
lineup.
question to you is, we're fucking coming back with this one, right?
I would assume so. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. I mean, we have no shortage of shows and things
I
to
know you
do.
guys.
I'm
It's the
being a little
heartland.
more.
It's the heartland, right?
Yeah, it's tough. Sorry, that's great. I'm being a little more choosy with all the gigs that I do. I'm not going out like 5 nights a week anymore. I'm getting older and I can't bounce back anymore. And that's without drinking. I imagine when I used to drink.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know. Just getting up and trying to fucking live
just
every day,
yeah,
right?
like, oh, I sat up in bed and oh, my back. What's going on? Why is this happening? I know why. I didn't take care of this. This is your body's a temple, and mine is like a wreck, like Indiana Jones. I don't know,
Yeah,
disused with booby traps. But
still trying to keep it fucking. I know. I'm still
yeah,
trying to keep
yeah,
mine and working, and you got to keep living, right?
yeah.
That's without
Stretching.
that. I mean, you can start to feel yourself stiffen up as you're getting older, for
Yeah,
sure.
stretching and walking is very important. Move,
Important,
get
yeah,
moving, get moving. But yeah,
very
so
important.
glad MDF and things like that were huge. And I had Spies. We covered MDF, and we had some reviewage, and then I had Spies in Oakland who told me all about it. I was like, ugh, next time for sure. So yeah, I can't wait for you to come back, and we'll catch you somewhere in the
Oh
States.
yeah,
We'll catch you
yeah,
somewhere.
without
So we're all over. Let's talk about Volume 6. I love that you called it V6. Immediately when I heard the title, I was like, oh, Volume 6, like Volume 4, of course. And even Anthrax had a Volume 8. So I was like, yes, absolutely, Volume 6. I love this so much, everything about it. And then what I really loved about the record, especially like the first couple of quotes from Rob in the press release was talking about like just kind of the headspace the band was in, like let's bring it back old school, but also show that even with the long gap between albums, other than the compilation, like let's show what we can still do this. And I love how varied the record. It's brutal, it's thrashy, it's killer, but there's also like grooves. There's great groovy songs, different tempos, like a lot of feels like you just let it all fly. And I love that so much for y'all.
Yeah. I love the fact that when I sit back and I listen to this record, the thrash songs jump out at me constantly. But yeah, I'm not one to shy away from songs like Underneath Millennia, which out of the gate, we had that one written probably number one, number two, number three. I think it was Comatose, Underneath Millennia, and then we wrote Missile. So we had those three songs right out of the gate coming out of maybe 14, 15. I've still been trying to date time and everything, and I've said maybe it's 017 and stuff like that, but yeah, it goes back further than that. I say probably 014, 015 when we start to really pen and put those songs together. It took us a while. There's no doubt about it. People are going, well, 7 years between writing new stuff. Yeah, we had three new songs probably by, I say, probably 15, 16. And then, it's trying to find the time to write new stuff and then play shows and live life. And, unfortunately, we're not the fastest band in the world, but I always say, man, quality over quantity with us. And Keith, I fucking love the new songs a lot. So he was like, EP maybe with those, and then we'll see where it goes. Pandemic came, and then we shut it down, and then next thing you know, we come back and he did World War V over that stretch. We put that out, and everybody was like, "Holy fuck, you guys gonna do something else?" And it was like, "Yeah, that's the plan." And then we turn around and then we write probably three more songs for this record over that period. And by the time we got to 22, 23, at the beginning of, before we went in to do it, then he went through a writing glut. He gave me a whole bunch of demoed stuff. And I fucking loved everything. And then he went back and revisited a song that I fell in love with during the 2020 sessions over the COVID stuff. I did a whole bunch of demo shit. And I've said this before, where Brian Shelton's a good friend of ours. Without him, I don't think the reunion would have happened. But he's been a good friend of mine since 2002, and he's been right there watching me rebuild my whole relationship with the band, and watching us do the reunion, Condemned, and then write this album. So he was privy to a lot of new stuff that we had put together, whether it be done or not done. And I was saying to him, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Oh fuck, man, this is stupid good. You guys got to do this stuff." And I specifically talk about Explode, because Explode was a song that we had demoed in 2020. I gave it to Rob. He fucking had he had about 20 songs demoed. I gave him it. He was like, "Holy shit, Gus, you got to give me all this stuff?" I said, "Fuck, man, it was just a weekend between me and him." I said, "Here you go. I did this all with a V kit. What do you think?" So he took it. Then he didn't really think about it. He just did World War V. We put that one out, and everybody was kind of like, "Okay, here we go. Are you guys going to record an album? Are you guys going to do something?" I was like, "Well," he didn't say no, and he didn't say no to me. But at that time, after we came out of COVID into 21, 22, I thought it was just going to be maybe an EP. And then he went through another writing glut. So between me and you, probably the best fucking thing that ever happened to him. And it's all about, what can I tell you, man? He can look me in the eye and tell me he's got shit or he doesn't. And you know what? Between me and you, I've always trusted his instinct. And I know how hard it was to write Truth back in 1989, and how long it took us to finish writing that song. But when we finished it, man, that you just know, you just know that you got something. And just like with Condemned, with Volume 6, every time he's touched something, it's been fucking gold. And all I had to do was, and he said it to me in '06, he goes, "I just want you to be yourself. I want you to be like any of those new modern drummers, just be yourself, man. And trust me, people will resonate to our sound and what we are." I said, "Okay." And that's been the recipe, man, for the last 23 years, give or take. So that's a pretty good record over that at the time, everybody said, "Well, man, maybe you guys should have done maybe 3 or 4 more records." But shit, man, you can't shit the egg, right? You got to wait till the egg comes.
Exactly. You can't squeeze it out before it's
You
time.
can't squeeze it out. I'd rather him give me something that he's fucking, he looks at me in the eye and go, "Yeah, this is fucking what I wanted." And I'm like, "Yeah." I knew that when we did Comatose, and I was like, "Man, this is a fucking blistering song." He goes, "That's the idea." But I
Word.
mean, get me wrong, it's taken a lot of cultivation for certain things and the way he does things. And I get if I told you it's the easiest guy to fucking, to get inside his head and get it all figured out. No, not really. It's taken me time to put it all together and to get the meter he's wanted for this record. Because Keith, I mean, you listen to it. I don't think any of the songs sound the same. I mean, it's trash, but we could fucking. I find we got maybe 3 gears, 4 gears for this band that it's just a natural thing for us, and everybody says the same thing, and that's what I've loved about the reviews is they're happy with the variety, and I get it. So
Yeah.
I can't complain about the variety.
Yeah. Is any guitar player easy to figure out and read mentally in a band with you? I mean, they're so their own breed. I know they say drummers are their own breed of people, but like no, it's guitar players who are really specific and
Yes,
interesting individuals.
yes.
And I love how much you guys like how much pre-production you just talked about, because I think that's the thing we're losing, despite the availability of gear and home studios and just a little home rig. I think like that's actually the key to making a great record. And a veteran band, an experienced band, even if you weren't pumping out records all that time, you know what's going to pass muster. You know what sounds like Sacrifice. So I love that for you. And I love that you talked about the V kit. I think you're sitting in front of one right now. And I wanted to know like how much the drumming changed from the demos on the electric kit to when you put it over to your full set. Did it change much? Do you add more when you're putting it down, or what?
Yeah, that's a fucking excellent question because when I bought my V kit, I just didn't buy a fucking half-ass kit, man. I went out bought the VAD 506. It's a fucking $8,000 worth of fucking drums, and I was lucky because we reissued the albums. We got a great deal with iRoll Records. They put them all out. They gave us a great purse for all of them, and I was fortunate enough to buy my kit. And over that time, when we were writing this stuff, and I was pretty happy about it, I was ready to take this kit in and record the whole album with it. And he looked me in the eye. He goes, "No fucking way." He goes, "I want you to pull out that wooden drum set that you got stuck in your fucking garage." He goes, "I want you to pull them out, and we're going to lay this album down with natural drums, natural everything, guys. I want you off the floor. Don't you think it would sound better with the V kit?" And he goes, "No." He goes, I'm going to be steadfast about this." I said, "Okay." I said, "Then I'll do my part." I said, "I'll go and I'll rehead the whole fucking kit, get the whole thing ready. I'll shine the fucking shit out of him. I'll bring him in. I'll set them all up, and then we'll go." And he goes, "See, it's going to be great." I said, "Okay." So that's what we did. And man, his instinct this time around, Keith, was fucking like bang on the money, man. Because I remember when Darius sent me the mix last June, and I heard the snare that he mixed on this kit. And for any person that wants to bitch about this snare sound on this fucking record, forget it, man. There's nothing to bitch about. It's probably the best fucking snare sound I've ever heard natural come out of anything I've ever done. And I mean, I've done some fucking great ones. Brian did an amazing job on Soldiers and Ford. And these were just natural. I mean, I've always played out of a Ludwig snare. But this one that I put up for V6 was specifically that. This snare drum sat to the side while I recorded the ones I condemned. I have a picture of it sitting in the studio set up, and I never put it in. The backstory for that is I went and regretted not putting it up after mixing it and having that album all these years. Not that the songs are not great, not that the overall ambience of the album, it is what it is. But for for my own personal satisfaction, I kind of kicked myself a bit about it, hey Keith. So this time around, I thought, fucking, there's no way, man. I had a plan of attack. I said, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna lay this album down perfect. Most flawless 4 days I've ever experienced at any recording I've ever done. And I've obviously done a lot of it. And everything about this album from day one till day 4. And it was only 4 days, 3 songs a day. So you do the math, right? That's 12 songs. So that was the schedule. After day one, I was a little worried, but by the time we got through day two, which was spectacular, like we finished Comatose and Underneath Millennia, we did a lot of stuff that day, and I forget what the third song was. Garrison Rob would probably have a better idea about that. But I knew going into day three, day four, especially. But day four was the biggest mystery to me because the backstory about Antidote of Poison. That song is basically day four at Phase One Studios. It was just a demo. So Rob gave me the demo. I fell in love with the song. He goes, "You want to record that?" I said, "Absolutely." So we started, did all the double bass parts. We got to the end of the double bass part and before the fast part, and he goes, "I don't know. I don't know if we should finish it." All of a sudden, my mic gets turned off, and Darius goes, "Can you come in the studio, Gus? We're gonna have something to eat, and then we're gonna finish that song." I said, "Okay." So he convinced Rob to finish it. We had lunch. 5 o'clock came. 90 minutes later, we did the whole fast part, pieced it all together, and then bam, he fucking played it back for us. I said, "Wow." And then for me, I said to him after we mixed everything and it was all presented to me, I said, "That's my favorite song on the record by far." I said that encompasses everything we've ever been and ever wanted to achieve in regards to my perfect song. And just between me and you, that's how I felt about that song. And I thought if that's going to be the catapult for this record going forward, I said I'm going to be super fucking happy when it's finished. And yeah, and by the time Scott got it, Joe got it, and we put all our parts in and then mixed it over September 2023 to basically May 2024. I get the final mix in June of 24. So we're at 25 now. So yeah, I've had it since then. And I had some deadly barbecue sessions last summer with a loudspeaker, right? Let's just see some
Nice.
neighbors around my neighborhood. Fucking
Oh,
heard that album pretty more than once.
when I listen to metal in my backyard barbecuing, so do my neighbors. By the way, there's nothing you can count on metalheads for, especially ones that don't play drums, to criticize drum tunings and drum and snare sounds and things like that. That's what they love to do. Being a former,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Especially, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, for me, for me, I wanted a natural fucking sound for this record, which he goes, that's what we're going to achieve. So, I said, okay, I'm going to buy in and I'll let my feet, and my hands do the talking on this record. So yeah, I was pleased as punch, man, that we got everything laid down and it came out as great as it did. Did I expect it to have this kind of reaction going into the beginning of this year? Not in your fucking life, man. But now that I've heard all the good things and we're gonna get a store release, over here in Canada, and it seems to be gaining some momentum in the U.S. So I can only expect big things going into this year and next year for sure.
fantastic. I just have a couple more for you, man. I've been so pleased. This has been amazing. So heading back out on the road, how many of the new songs are gonna make it into the set list? I know last time, like you said, it was this is the one time only. We're gonna play all the classics and do some deep cuts, and now we have this brand new record. I'm sure you want to play some of it live.
Well, I know for sure Comatose is that's going to be first and foremost. And Rob goes, "Man, we got to play that one live." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I said, "But if we do that one, it's got to be at the beginning of the set now, because man, the amount of energy that I'm going to expend just to play that in first four cuts off this, of whatever we do. I mean, we can never play a fucking set where we don't play For Determination, Terror Strike. So that'll always be at the beginning of every one of our sets. Now we get to slide in Comatose. I think Antidote of Poison is going to be probably second. The boys love playing Underneath Millennia, so I guarantee you those three songs will definitely be in every set that we play going forward. After that, it's anybody's coin flip as to maybe what they're going to want to play. And I know what I love. I love playing pretty much the whole thing. So whichever they want to throw at me and pick from night to night, I'll be happy to play for them. And I think we'll be able to play a little bit longer than 45, 50 minutes going forward. I know that. And everybody's going to probably demand that we play, 60 minutes, 70, 80 minutes a night. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Right on, us too. I always love to end these interviews with a wild card question. So my wild card question for you, I try to pick a specific one for everybody. If you could go back, you've had some ups and downs in your career. It's been a long career. Obviously, the band is riding high right now. If you could go back and get in the DeLorean and get in the time machine and meet younger you and give yourself one piece of advice about the music business, what would you tell yourself?
I don't know. I don't think there would have been any change in how I felt coming out of 1990, because those guys have always said, "Yeah, you probably did the best thing that all of us should have done in 1990, which was get the fuck out when it was starting to die." And I said, I get that, but I wish maybe I had to come back, and as opposed to taking the whole 12 years off, where I never did any playing, no drumming at all, no interest in music except to listen to it and still be inspired by a lot more newer bands and stuff that I generally love. Yeah, I kind of wish I maybe got back into it maybe in early 2000s, 2001, 2002. Started spread my wings again and becoming, uh, you know, get my thrash chops back, because it wasn't until, man, I'd say probably 2012, 2013 before I actually sat down behind a drum set, and after we did Condemned, I started feeling good about who I was again, who I was as a drummer within the band, and playing our set and trying to achieve. I'm not gonna lie to you. Playing Soldiers of Misfortune at this age is fucking difficult, and I'm not gonna lie to anybody. That's a extremely, man, the pace that I recorded that record at, and the piss and vinegar I did is very difficult to duplicate, man. I'm not lying to you, because Soldiers, Pawn of Prophecy, In Defiance, like those are songs that hugely resonated with a lot of people, and now and to go back and to play it at that same pace takes a lot of patience and hard work eternally. So I'm glad that I've been able to get back to that level, but I wish I had done it sooner as opposed to maybe later. I probably would have been up to speed probably a bit earlier, maybe in '08 as '09, and been more the way I play today than I did when I came out of '06. I didn't feel as good about my drumming in those first 3 years as I do now, uh, after we did Condemn. But it's been a long grind to get back to where I can look everybody in the eye and go, yeah, this is where I wanted the band to be, and where my own personal ability is to lie with this band.
Right on. Right on. I appreciate hearing that. Thank you for sharing all that with us.
Oh, no problem.
Volume 6 is out now on Cursed Blessings Records. Shout out to them for a great job. Great job by the PR, our homies at Earsplit PR. And Gus, man, it's been just a real treat for me and a pleasure to chop it up with you today.
Keith, thank you very much for having me tonight, man. I really appreciate it. Now tell me, so you're in Northern California?
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. Yeah, I'm San Francisco.
So you are in San Fran, eh?
But I am an
Awesome.
East Coast guy, so I start talking with my hands and I talk, and everybody, and
So you'll bounce back and forth to both coasts if you get a chance, right?
Yeah, I visited back east, and not too recently, but yeah, I did a big trip back home at one point, and yeah, man, I love, we're a global organization, so
Yeah,
I'm proud to say we'll catch you somewhere around the world. And
I hope so, man.
I promise,
so,
if I
sure.
meet you, if I get to meet you in person, you and Rob, I'm gonna give you a big shake, big handshake, because really this band meant a lot to me coming up, and it was part of the reason I made music the way I make music, and I'm super stoked. So thank you so much for everything.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Okay.
All right, take care and have a good evening.
You too, sir.